Hello and welcome to Openboosters! Alright, let's talk about Dominaria. When the leaks happened, many of you asked me what I thought about the leaks and how bad it was. And I didn't respond. Well, I responded individually. But I didn't really think it mattered that much because it's just cards. I mean, they released it, it's just cards. So the only thing they did was kind of disrupt their hype train. And I really didn't think about it as a problem. And they handled it really well. They said, hey, it happened, let's just talk about the cards. And so I thought that was actually a good response to the issue that they had. It wasn't like they did any insider trading or someone like heard that through the grapevine that Oubliette was maybe they're going to reprint it and then they slammed out all their Oubliettes before the price tanked. Or, you know, they found out they're adding one more card to the reserve list and they bought up all the cards before any of the announcement happened. So there wasn't any really insider trading, or any kind of security thing. There wasn't a breach or whatever. It's just cards, so I didn't care. But anywho, that's fine. So let's talk about the cards. You know, we have Karn. Everyone's getting really excited about it. It's got the +1 ability where you show your opponent 2 cards, they pick one that you get to keep, and the other one goes into exile, and it gets a token on it, nice little token, that only Karn can pull out with his -1 ability. So it's not really that great. It is a card draw, which is actually kind of cool, because he only costs 4 mana, you put him on the board, he gets 5 loyalty, and that's pretty nice. You get an extra card, one goes to there. I would prefer at least a spell or something that I could add a silver token, which that's what it's called, a silver counter, in exile, and then I could pull those down, because then I would be able to throw more exile cards up there, pick one that I actually want, and then use Karn to pull it back down. And I'm hoping that they come up with something like that, where I can put a token, silver token, on an exiled card, and that gives Karn a little more power with his draw. I'm kind of hoping they do. They might not, they might do it, I don't know. I just think that would be kind of cooler, give them a little bit of kick, even if it's an extra spell or something like that on the side. That way when I'm throwing stuff to exile, I have a choice and I can pull it back down and make it a little bit stronger, I think. But the -2 ability is great. You get a 0/0 that gets +1s from all the artifacts that you have in play, and if you're playing, you know, Tron, like this, boom, you're probably going to be playing a lot of artifacts. Even if you're playing anything, you're putting artifacts on the board anyways, and so that one where you just put one out there that could be really a 5/5 or big, you know, it gets pretty big. You know, you can make it. You play with a bunch of artifact lands and that kind of stuff. It just keeps tanking up, you know. So I like it. I like that. And it's a token. So then still in Amonkhet, we can duplicate that, right? Because we have this one, Anointed Procession. And so then instead of just getting 1 token from Karn, you get 2. And that's even better. And so I kind of like that. And this is a 4 casting cost as well. So if you can cast this, then you can definitely put Karn on the board. So I like that. Also, they have another spell out here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I'm using my computer because I don't have a photographic brain. Terrible. I should get one of those. Wonder if you can pick them up at Walmart. Then I won't have to think as much. The Oath of Teferi. I don't know how to pronounce stuff. You guys know that. It's okay. When he comes, it's a legendary enchantment. It should be on the screen because then I edit it, edit. And he can exile something from the battlefield. That's fine. It can returns to play after it's gone. Don't really care about any of that. The fun part is you may activate the loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than once. So with that in mind, if you have this in play, you activate Karn, you get 2, but you really can activate it twice, so you get 4. And that's kind of cool. I think I like that. Because 4 is always better. You know what I mean? And then, you know, so I think Karn's going to see a lot of distinct action when he comes into fruition. And if he can activate it twice, you know, I'm a little bit curious about the wording, because it says you may activate the loyalty abilities of the planeswalker control twice each turn rather than once. So I read that and, you know, my brain's a little bit scrambled sometimes. So either A, when you activate one ability, you activate it twice. Or is it that I get to choose? And if you get to choose, his draw ability is awesome. because it's really a +0 at that point, and then you get 2 cards because you can put it up. He chooses to put one in exile, and you can pull it back down if I can get to 2. But if it's, you may activate the loyalty abilities and you only activate 1, but it triggers twice. I don't think it triggers for twice. I think it's just you get to choose, in which case that enchantment right there immediately makes Karn work like a dog, because you get 2 cards for the cost of 0 loyalty. You get the +1, the -1, and boom, you get both cards. And so that's actually makes it better. It's a 5 casting cost spell though. But, you know, it makes everything a lot more fantastic. I mean, think of all the Planeswalker that'll trigger twice and that kind of stuff, and I like that. And the fact that they put it in standard, it's really kind of cool. All right. So now on to, I think Karn's actually going to affect Modern as well, because there's so many things that you can do with tokens. They have that populate stuff. Here's a legendary creature with the Dryad, where he gains life and then he starts populating stuff, and so he can make more of the tokens of Karn, and you can, you know, go out through the thing, and it's gonna be a big card that hits that board. And so I like Karn. He's gonna change things up a little bit. I don't think he's gonna be too like massive. Like, it's not gonna be, you know, like, I don't know, breaking anything, because, you know, Jace will do that for us. But yeah, but he's good. He's a great card. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's go on to the next. The next card I like to talk about is Dampening Sphere, because to me that one was really exciting. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces colorless instead of any other type and amount. And each spell costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that the player casts this turn, which is a hit and miss. I mean, it works well if it's in your favor. So if you're playing the Tron lands and that kind of stuff, and because it's just going to be colorless mana anyways. But you can really hose your opponent by playing something like Mana Flare, you know, because Mana Flare makes it produce 1 more mana. Now all the mana is colorless, right? So if it's all colorless, then they're hosed. But this is like, you know, vintage, you know, legacy. So, but the good news is they kept those other cards kind of in there. So you've got Mana Reflection. You know, if you tap a mana for mana, it produces twice as much as the mana instead. So now all the mana is, you know, thing, but it's a 6 casting cost, and that's a little high. But we also have Heartbeat of Spring. So whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of that type to his or her mana pool, and that's Mana Flare. So I'm assuming, see, the wording is what's tricky in Magic the Gathering, because the wording is a little bit this way, then it could be ruled the other way, right? So maybe this land isn't really producing it, just magically mana occurs in there. I don't know. But the way I read it, this is actually producing an extra mana. Therefore, it should all be colorless. Now, I might be wrong in that department because it's a wording issue. Because it says whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of that type to his or mana pool. So I would assume that means twice. Because this one, the other one says it specifically. It produces twice as much. So it produces. This one doesn't say the word produce. Is that a problem? I don't know. But I think Heartbeat of Spring, all the lands would become colorless as they're tapped for mana. And that is fantastic, because then it's like, I hosed you. You know, you can make more enemies that way. It's fun. No, and maybe not making enemies, but I think that's going to be a great card. Fantastic. I love it. Because it actually does remind me of the old days of Mana Screw. You know, you try to hose them. You try to sinkhole their lands. It's called land destruction, even if the land still exists. You know, and so that card kind of was like, oh, I like that card because it's kind of fun. You know, and if you're playing with mostly colorless creatures and that kind of stuff, you won't care that it's colorless. You know, because yeah, it's colorless. Who cares? Plays for artifacts. You know, Juggernaut. We got some. Yeah, Juggernaut's back. He's back in standard. Boom, he's there too. Woo! Go Juggernaut. Oh, okay. Another card. Let's see. We talked about the other ones. Let's talk about this one. I really like it. It's Primevals Glorious Rebirth. I mean, he's expensive, but I mean, what he does is pretty awesome. 5 white and black. He brings all legendary cards from your graveyard back to the battlefield. And some of them are like, all the creatures come back to this from his graveyard and back to their control. But that's not how this one works. I love how this one works because it's all about you. You know, your cards are coming back from the graveyard. All your permanents, your planeswalkers and that kind of stuff, they all come back. I think planeswalkers are considered legendary, aren't they? Wouldn't they be considered legendary? I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just goofy. But I can play with nothing but legendary cards. Legendary cards do a lot of different things. They're fantastic. I mean, they do stuff. And it's all of them coming back. I love Animate Dead. And so this card would definitely go in an Animate Dead deck. And I would probably make it like a legendary Animate Dead. I would dredge the crud out of my stuff and throw everything onto the board. It'd be fantastic. They'd all have their enter in effects and boom and exploding and stuff like that. And what are they going to do? You know, I mean, you got haste legendary creatures, you got a whole bunch of stuff that you can throw in there. Oh, so that one is exciting. You can't say not. As long as you can get it to be able to cast it, then you're good. You know, so you got to go for the mana. I mean, it is white and black, so that means if it was green, it'd be done. But yeah, so that one I'm really excited about because that's just it's a good card. I love Animate Dead. And it's like the biggest Animate Dead you can get because all you're getting is legendary stuff. Legendary enchantments too. Maybe planeswalkers aren't. Let me see here. I guess planeswalkers aren't legendary? Probably not. Maybe I was wrong. Nope, well, they're legendary planeswalkers. There you go, Chandra. Chandra the Bold Pyromancer. Could activate her ability twice and burn everybody to the ground. So there you go, planeswalkers coming back in the battlefield all at the same time. Trigger them, boop, 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 you know? I mean, it's like instant death. Oh, yeah. And then if I can activate her ability twice, that's not a legendary enchantment, is it? Let's see. I don't think it is. No, hold on. I closed it. Yes, it is a legendary enchantment. So let's say they put it in the graveyard. You could put that out there too. So now you have Oath the Terra-Free, and you have that, and you cast that. If you can get, now you're playing with white, black, and blue. Well, still, play with the dual lands. Going nuts. Just go insane. But, you know, I mean, then you can the enchantment's going to come back. Everything comes back. It's a glorious day. It's a glorious rebirth. I'm just saying. Oath the Terra-Free, you put that in the deck. If it goes to the graveyard, it's fine. Because you're going to get it back later. With the Primevals Glorious Rebirth. I mean, is it Primeval? Who cares? I don't read names very well. It's terrible. But that is awesome card. Everything comes back to the battlefield. #1 card in my opinion. Because it's fun. You know. I mean, you win if you play it. That's basically its motto. And it's glorious because you win. I like it. I love that card. I'm definitely going to be playing with that. So, there you go. That one's a big explosion. I'm just saying. So fun. So who else is excited? I know I am. I'm probably going to pick up a case of that. I got it too. I know I should buy singles. That's just the thing. Well, maybe I'll just buy a box and buy a couple sets. Instead, make it a little bit cheaper. But that's a great card. Oh, so fun. All right. I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably talk about a little bit of the other cards too later on. Think about them more and get back to you real soon. All right, and I'll be doing more openings, obviously. All right. Sorry about having making videos in a while. It's been a little crazy. Easter, sickness, you know, that kind of stuff. Not mine, but my kids. But you know, everyone's fine. It's just cold, whatever. You know the family thing. All right. So hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment, and I will talk to you again real soon.